Hi everyone, welcome to Vijay Datta chemistry classes. Today I am going to start with atomic structure, and in atomic structure Bohr's atomic model we are going to discuss. As Bohr's atomic model is very important, Bohr has given some postulates and also he given how to calculate the radius of the nth orbit, energy, velocity, time revolution like he has given, and also the line spectrum of the hydrogen atom. Today we are going to discuss Bohr's atomic model postulates and radius of the nth orbit, and based on radius of nth orbit we are going to do some problems based on that. Okay, let us start our topic with Bohr's atomic model. Okay, in this Bohr's atomic model, come to the postulates of the Bohr's atomic model. In this, the first postulate is the electron in an atom revolve around the nucleus in a definite circular orbits or shells of our energy. So the electron in an atom revolve around the nucleus in a definite circular orbit or shells or paths. So far an electron revolves in a certain orbit, its energy remains constant and does not radiate its energy. So we are calling these orbits are called as the stationary orbits or stationary states like we have considered. And also one more postulate of the Bohr's is Bohr has given the angular momentum, very important. And also this one we can discuss as the this angular momentum is the one more part of the important, and also this is one more drawback also, because in the electron revolving only in those stationary orbits, in this the angular momentum is equal to integral multiple of h by 2 pi. So according to him he has given one formula for that is mvr equals to nh by 2 pi. So he has given this formula. M is nothing but mass of the electron, velocity of the electron, radius of the orbit, and also n is the integral multiple. So here n is the quantum number, principal quantum number introduced by the Bohr, and h is the Planck's constant, and 2 and pi are the constants like we can consider. So these are the major postulates what he considered. The electron in an atom revolve around the nucleus in a particular path, those are called as the stationary orbits or stationary paths like stationary orbits or stationary paths. Electrons can revolve only in those stationary orbits in which those angular momentum he considered as the h by 2 pi. In this he considered that as the h by 2 pi. H is the Planck's constant and 2 pi is the normal constant like he has considered. So now the formula what we have written, mvr equal to nh by 2 pi, that mvr stands here about the mass of the electron, v is the velocity of the electron, and radius of the orbit, n is the principal quantum number we can consider, that is 1 2 3 4 and so on. H is the Planck's constant. Here Planck's constant values we have two different values in two different units. H is so those values are 6.625 into 10 to the power of minus 34 34 in joules, and one more is the 6.625 into 10 to the power of minus 27 erg second. It is not per second, that is just joule second, and also it is erg second like also we can take. So here we have a relation, that is 1 erg equal to 10 to the power of minus 7 seconds. So 10 to the power of minus 7 is nothing but 6.625 10 to the power of minus 27 erg second and joule second like. So one more important postulate was given by the Bohr is, when an electron drops from higher orbit to the lower orbit, energy is released. The energy is released when an electron jumps from the lower orbit to higher orbit, lower orbit to a higher orbit, energy is absorbed. Energy is absorbed. So the absorbed or evolved energy is equal to the difference in the energies of the two orbits, which is equals to delta E is equals to Et minus E1. That delta E is nothing but change in energy when electron jumping from higher orbit to lower orbit or lower orbit to higher orbit. That is when electron is jumping from higher orbit to lower orbit, it releases energy. When electron jumping from lower orbit to higher orbit, then it absorbs energy. So overall from this point, what is the thing we are getting that there is no either loss of the energy, either energy can releases or absorbs, but there is no loss of energy. That is the main point here we have considered. So here delta E equal to E2 minus E1 change in energy. Et is the energy of the higher orbit and E1 is the energy of the lower orbit, and H is the Planck's constant, like also we can consider. So here one more very important point is the Bohr's after that Bohr has given the calculation for the radius of the nth orbit. That is what today we are going to discuss. That Bohr's the line spectrum, there is some transitions from the one orbit to the another orbit. So here we are calculating the radius of the nth orbit. Here suppose take here it is one nucleus, like if we consider it is a nucleus, then electrons are revolving round the nucleus in a particular orbit. Suppose like this electrons are revolving round the nucleus. These are the electrons, like we can consider electrons are revolving round the nucleus. So the force of attraction between the nucleus and the electron. So this is the, yes, this is the nucleus and it is the electron. There will be a nucleus is the positively charged, electron is the negatively charged, plus and minus. So there will be the equal force of attraction and repulsions will be takes place. But as it is a positive and negative charge, there is the forces of attraction between this nucleus and this electron. Here we are considering as the minus Z E square by R square. That Z is nothing but atomic number, E is the charge of the electron, R is the radius of the electron, that radius of the orbit, that is nothing but distance from the nucleus to the out whatever the orbit we are taking, that one. And here one more thing, the centrifugal force of the electron due to revolving around the nucleus. See, forces of attraction and the centrifugal force, that is nothing but here these forces of attraction nothing but we can consider as a centripetal force, like so. Here both will this electron will attract by the nucleus, and at the same time the same electron will get the repulsions from the electrons from the outermost shell. So that centrifugal force, at the same time these electrons they will pull back, then there will be some electrons due to revolving around the nucleus. That one here we are considering as minus mv square by r. So based on this minus zg square by r square and minus mv square by r square, as the equal forces of attraction is running, then centripetal force is equals to the centrifugal force. So we can equalize this, minus ze square by r square is equals to minus mv square by r square, like also we can consider. So minus minus get cancelled, both will becomes the plus, then this is the r square and here mv square by r, so square and this r square, so only one r is left this side. So the overall expression is ze square by r is equals to mv square by r. So sorry, here no r, mv square by zg square by r equal to mv square by r. So from this I want radius of the nth orbit r. So we will bring the relation, all will bring to one side. Then if you bring one side, then r is equals to z e square by mv square is equals to r. But actually what we know, mvr is equals to nh by 2 pi. According to that formula, mvr is equals to nh by 2 pi. According to this, what we can study here, it is if you send this mv square this side, then mv square r, so I'll keep 1v this side. So simply how I want to write this expression, mvr equal to z e square by v. Can we write like this? Now mvr is equals to, according to the Bohr's postulates, nh by 2 pi. If you substitute that nh by 2 pi is equal to z e square by v, so then we can calculate the further, then finally we will get the relation is this, r equal to n square by h, n square h square by 4 pi square mz e square. So here r is the radius of the nth orbit, n equal to 1 2 3 4, h is the Planck's constant, like so. As the point of view is considered, we no need of this explanation. Either they can ask the questions, the force of attraction between the z square nucleus and the electron, they can ask this one. And also centrifugal forces of attraction due to revolving around the nucleus, they'll ask this formula as a examination point of view is considered. Then we can go directly to this formula. So here if you observe in this formula, z is nothing but atomic number that depends on the which atom we are considering. Then n is the first orbit, second orbit, third orbit, like. Then rest of the remaining c, h is Planck's constant, its value is constant, 4 is constant, pi is the 22/7 or 3.14, m is the mass of the electron constant, e is the charge of the electron is constant. So overall all these are values are, if you substitute all these value, then we'll get the overall formula is r equal to 0.529 into n square by n square angstroms. Actually here n square by z, if you are taking hydrogen atom, like, then the formula is r equal to 0.529 into n square by z angstroms, like we can consider. So this is the formula. We have to find the radius of the nth orbit. If you want to find radius of the first orbit, then you can substitute n equal to 1. If they given hydrogen atom, then z value will be 1, like that also we can consider. So this is the calculation for the radius of the nth orbit by using the Bohr's theory. Now come to the first problem, shall we see. The angular momentum of an electron in hydrogen atom is 2h by pi. The electron belongs to which orbit? That is the question. So what we know, what is the formula we know? Here I am writing the solution. I want to find for which orbit it is. So actually I want to write the formula, that is mvr equal to nh by 2 pi we have, right? mvr equal to nh by 2 pi. So I want to substitute when n equal to 1, then that is the first orbit. If you substitute n equal to 1, then mvr equal to h by 2 pi. But what he given, 2h by pi is given, but 2h by pi is given. So what we have to calculate by substituting n value, how much if we substitute, we will get 2h by pi is our question. So I am once again I am writing the formula, mvr equal to nh by 2 pi. Now I substituted n equal to 1, but I got h by 2 pi. Now I want to substitute n equal to 2. Then if I substitute n equal to 2, then 2h by 2 pi. Then 2 get cancelled. It should be h by pi, but it is not h by pi. So not a second option also. Now I will go for n equal to 3. If I substitute n equal to 3, 3h by 2 pi. So 3h by 2 pi, but he asked here 2h by pi, so it is also not correct. Then if I substitute n equals to 4, then 4h by 2 pi, then 2 2s are 4, then the answer is 2h by pi. This is what he asked. So yeah, the angular momentum of an electron in hydrogen atom is 2h by pi. That electron belongs to the fourth orbit. So our correct option is fourth orbit. Like that also they can ask the question. One more time you can see, just you have to substitute the n values, first orbit, second orbit, third orbit, fourth orbit, like that. Then you can get the correct option. Okay, let us see the next problem. What is the next problem is given? Radius of the Bohr first orbit of atom is 0.53 angstroms. So radius of the Bohr first orbit of helium plus ion is, first orbit is nothing but they are giving the value for n equal to 1. It is clear. So radius is asking. So already we have a formula for radius of the nth orbit is equal to 0.529 into n square by z angstroms, because all the options are in angstroms, so I am taking the formula also in angstroms. So the given radius of the first orbit is 0.53 angstroms. So instead of substituting that, we can go directly for the answer without comparing that. 0.529 into n square is how much? first orbit. He said here, even in the problem also he given here first orbit only, so I am going to the first orbit. So it is 1 square by Z is how much for helium. Hydrogen Z value is 1, helium atomic number is 2, so it is 2. So 0.529 by 2 angstroms is the answer. So how will you calculate 0.529 by 2 means 0. If you calculate this one, 0.2 to the 6 5 to that. So answer is the third option. So third option is the correct option. 0.265 angstroms is the correct answer. So like this we have to do. So today I have taken the general topic of the Bohr's atomic model. Just if you have any doubt, if you need any topic, you can keep in the comments box, then I'll choose the topic and I'll give some explanation about that. Thank you. Please do subscribe and like or share my video. Then thank you. If you have any doubts, still you can ask in the comments box. See, these are the today we have done the topic with the atomic structure and Bohr's atomic model. So, okay. Okay, thank you guys.